Good afternoon, Dr. Desert Moon back with another video. It's 2:23 p.m. It's March 19th, Sunday afternoon. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I will say though, this weekend has not been a bad one. I think I stayed pretty busy and I made the best use of my time. I would like to say that, I was having my lunch in the afternoon yesterday, and I also kind of repeated the same routine for today's lunch. And what I did was, I don't watch TV, but I was really bored. I kept thinking, okay, I don't need to think about um, what happened. I'm tired of thinking about it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. It is mentally disturbing to me, and it's caused me more mental anguish than anything, and I just really want to move on from it. So I decided to see if there's anything decent to watch on television. Now, you know how I hate those television shows that exploit people, okay? Like these reality shows or whatever. I don't care for them. But I was like watching, I think it's the Roku channel, I guess, Roku channel. Um, there was a show called Leaving Polygamy, or yeah, Leaving Polygamy. And I've always had an interest in religion, and I remember when I was younger, I kind of read into the Mormon faith. And so when I found out they were interested at one time in polygamy, and there's still Mormons to this very day who practice polygamy. As a kid, this interests me, not because I wanted to be a polygamist myself, it's just because I realized that this is one of the differences that goes on in religion. So, I remember having kind of an interest in that. No, I am not a polygamist. I do not have a desire to be in a polygamous relationship. I have my reasons for feeling that way. But I also understand that people do have their religious freedoms in this country. Now, mind you, polygamy is illegal because you can only have one legal wife in this country, okay? Um, but this is what they believe, and they're practicing it. Now, I was watching this TV show because I needed some form of distraction, okay? I'm tired of dwelling on weird stuff, which I think this whole thing is very weird. And when I'm looking at this show, Leaving Polygamy, now I am not in this sort of religion, but I do see where these women do experience a lot of the things that I experienced as a targeted individual, victim of domestic stalking, whatever you want to call it. All these things, okay? There's a lot of control, and there, of course, they use religion to basically, keep people in fear and intimidate them into staying or being forced into doing certain things. Um, so I understand that on that level, and I do, feel a lot of empathy for these women because I understand the frustration they're going through, especially in my situation, and I can compare this, is like when they convince an entire community to act against another person, such as me. And then I look at these people and these particular Mormon people who are in a similar situation. They are going up against a lot of powerful people, this sort of thing, and it's very difficult for a lot of these women to leave. Okay, it is a domestic issue. They have the law is on their side, but unfortunately there's a lot of people who use religion or take religion into consideration because they're part of a group, a underground syndicate. And yes, this is an underground syndicate. Anytime that you do something that is covert against another person, you kind of, deny them their rights, their privileges, whatever. It becomes a matter of something underground, okay? And a lot of people don't understand the definitions of certain things, but it is indeed would fall under that category. Now, let me get something to drink. Getting thirsty. So sorry, I'm like dehydrated. Anyway, so these women, I was watching and hearing their story, and I can see a lot of similarities in this issue. Their families don't recognize that they have rights within this country, and then of course that a lot of these girls are over the age of 18. They can leave anytime they want to, but they do use a lot of manipulative ways of keeping them within this cult, right? And this is why it disturbs me, Because anytime you throw religion into it, it becomes a matter of people getting way out of control and losing their minds, right? Anyway, but that's not why I came on this video. My issue right now is I'm interested in my life at this point is expressing myself, because I think that I went through a lot of years of having or living what I consider to be something of a Truman Show. Meeting people, being put up in situations where I'm being set up to meet people, not having a life of my own within in network that demands absolute control, that I didn't consent to. Now, maybe they thought, okay, they're being helpful. Okay, I would like to say that I've never asked for anyone's help. And I'm not saying that, I'm not grateful for, people who I've worked with and that sort of thing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that sometimes when people give you things, they expect you to give them things in return when you never asked in the first place, and put you in compromising positions. I didn't ask for this, and I am very angry. And morally just devastated that somebody would try to manipulate my life in a direction that I would never consent to. Anyway, so expressing myself in is difficult to do on the outside. I'm becoming more of somebody who just wants to be at home. I don't really enjoy interacting with people anymore, mainly because I feel as though I've seen too much of what they are, and I honest and truthfully don't have the desire to just go out and be social. I did mention, like, about a week or so ago, that I was invited to this mixer, and maybe eventually I might see benefit and value in doing this, okay? But at the moment right now, I am not interested in mingling and talking and sharing and exchanging my feelings, okay? Maybe that'll change one day, okay? But at this point in my life, I feel safer and more comfortable in my home. Now, this is not with everybody. Let's just say, for example, I have this idea of who kind of friend I want, okay? And of course, my friend would share a lot of the same interests as I do. But most importantly about this particular friend that I envision is that they are a true friend. They do not disrespect me in any mind, deed, or action. And they don't, they protect me, meaning they protect my reputation, and I in turn would uphold their name as well. And that's a very important element in any sort of friendship. It is essential. Now, a lot of people they call them their friends, but what they really have are, maybe associates. They have acquaintances, but true friends, okay, are very hard to find. And I feel as though I have ran the gamut of, what do you call it? Flying monkeys, that sort of stuff. It's just, sometimes I don't think people realize that becomes very emotionally disturbing to another human being. And I would say throughout this journey, it was just one emotional shock after another, whether that be, being confronted about something that I have every right to do. Like, for example, if I decide to, I don't know, okay, for example, my hair, right? It's ill-mannered. It just seems so ill-mannered, ignorant, stupid, and obvious that you don't pick on a person's appearance, you know what I mean? Or tell somebody what they're supposed to wear, whatever. But this has been going on for years, okay? Long before this particular entertainer got involved, long before, it's been going on since childhood, okay? Nobody asked for that. I didn't appreciate that. And it has taken up too much of my life, and it pissed me off when I really think about it. And I don't, I think about the situation I'm in now, and meaning, like, okay, I'm very grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm very grateful for those things. What I don't like is I don't like the fact that it has made me just absolutely, like, it's completely changed me into something where I am, I would say I'm pretty cold, but I also feel like I have the right to be cold, because I honestly don't see people as good. I honestly don't. Okay, and I will go more into that later. But I think, going through my life, and this is what happens to a lot of people in these sort of families, okay? And I will say that this family, my ex-family, is a lot like these Mormon families, okay? Different religion, okay, but some of the ideas of where it's like this, say one, say all, even though you're raised to believe that by the time you're 18, you make your own decisions. I really, honestly, am just disturbed by the entire thing. I am not somebody who believes in that lifestyle, and that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, going back to being at home and just being at home, and I want to express myself, and I like to make videos. I'm working on the video, the long one that I was talking about, but it's more like I felt as though in the last few years, okay, and even up into the last few months, like I've just felt so, devastated, and just absolutely, like, this whole thing just literally drained my life out, literally drained me, of every fucking good feeling that I could possibly have. And that's the truth. And I would sit there and just think, how in the world could somebody do something like this? How could you sit there and try to control every little aspect of someone's life, get angry with them, and think that they return something to you? By the time I was 18 years old, I knew I wanted my independence, and that's the only way I want to live. I have no interest in fucking doing anything like that with anybody, and I understand I'm a realist, okay? I don't sit there and think that the world is easy to get around in, or that you can just go out and it's really a struggle out there. It certainly is, but everybody knows that. Everybody has to face that, Anyway, I was also thinking, about these Mormon women, about the lack of resources for them, and many of these women are, of course, victims of human trafficking. They can't get a job because somebody's being told not to hire them. They have a lot of struggles that they have to go through, and I obviously am not Mormon, but I certainly relate to certain things that they were talking about. Totally. And yeah, I would say in this situation is the same thing. I'm very different from what people want me to be. I don't have interest in being what other people want me to be. I want to live my life to the fullest in the way that I see fit. Especially now, I feel more than anything, it's so important for me, because you know what, I realized with all these years that went by, that I have lost out way too much in life, like way, way too much. And when I think about it, and I understand what happened, why I did, why this is so unnecessary, because of the behavior of people, selfish people who felt like they had to prove something. I wasn't interested in playing a game. I was interested in keeping a roof over my head. And I don't appreciate people who devalue my life, and some people think, well, I did have problems going to school, dealing with, I used to cut class a lot because of the bullying. And as I've made these videos throughout, starting in 2015 is when I started making these videos, I started putting the pieces together. If you watched my old channel, you'll understand that I started realizing that I was one of these people that I had been reading about who called themselves a targeted individual. Okay, I was one of these people who dealt with domestic stalking. I realized that the bullying in the schoolyard was coming from the same people. There are some people who, I don't know, maybe it's like they can't stop stalking you. They cannot stay out of your business. They feel as though it's their business, or they feel like they feel responsible, or in their own mind they make this up where it's necessary to continue to do this to another human being. Okay, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. Okay, and it destroys people's lives like you just do not even know. And you know, you get to the point where you're just tired of it. You know, I am tired of it. You know, I have the right to live my own life. You know, and I understand there's risk out there all the time. There's a struggle out there. The world is what it is. But you know, I hated my life growing up. I know that I did. I hated it. I hated it. I didn't like it. I couldn't wait to get away from it. It made me very depressed, very unhappy, and there were only certain good times that I remember growing up as a child, and those times mostly were either when I was out in the schoolyard with like a friend or something, or a playmate, I should say, and then like, or I was, hanging out in the garden or whatever. You know what I mean? It was having spiritual moments or whatever. I honestly can tell you that I am disturbed by what happened in my entire life. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much to go to bed thinking about it. It's too much to get up in the morning and think about it. It's too much to deal with it on a daily basis. It's too much entirely for me. You know what I mean? And when I think about it, there's times where I think, man, Maria, you just sit around, you're extremely depressed. You work a lot, and then when you not working, you don't pick up your hobbies as much as you used to. You just feel down all the time, all the time. And I kept thinking, okay, I have to pull myself out of this. But then I keep thinking, I'm not going to be too hard on myself, because I understand what this sort of thing does to another human being. Okay, like I said, it is not uncommon for people who go through this to want to commit suicide or do commit suicide. Because why? Because everything that they cared about in their life is destroyed. Everything. Okay? I am just like, and to think that somebody can just shrug it off and say, well, I'm sorry, or it's not that big of a deal, or devalue or belittle it, or think that it's not an issue. It is an issue. It's my life. My life, the one that I have the right to live and I'm entitled to live. But anyway, I am enjoying my weekend, and I feel very, I don't know, like I want to not remember this issue. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And I say this all the time, but there's times where you have these like mind regurgitations, or you get triggers or something happens. You know what I mean? Like things can come out of the blue. That's what somebody who lived through something, and what some people don't realize is that it's, to them, they don't understand why I feel this way. I feel this way because it's like waking up and realizing that this is, you don't know these people. Like, I don't know why somebody would do something like this. Yeah, it's too shocking to me. It's too much. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I just wanted to come on here and, say my piece, make a quick video and kind of talk about what's on my mind and express myself. Like I said, I have been enjoying the weekend. I've been like doing a little bit more of my arts and crafts in the evening, and I want to pick up where I left off, okay? And whatever happens in my life, I take full responsibility for my life, whatever that may be, okay? And I am determined to make the best out of what little years I have, and I'm angry, and I'm going to be angry, and I have the right to be angry, and I've had a lot of hatred too. There's a lot of hatred in me, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I will not apologize for that. I feel as though my hatred is justified. So anyway, enough of that. I will wrap this video up and come back with another structured video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.